Hi, my name is Lyubov and I am your go-to personal trainer and nutrition coach. I help women to achieve their most confident, physically and mentally strongest version of themselves. SOUL stands for strength, willpower, ownership, resilience, and discipline. And today I will dive into how to find energy to develop discipline. As hardworking women who constantly strive for more, we face many challenges, starting with our home and work responsibilities and ending with the simple lack of support and time to find resources. I'm sure you have experienced this state before when you just have no energy and you feel exhausted to do the right thing for your health and your goals. It gets really tough when that state turns into an everyday thing, and all you can manage at the end of the day is to just quickly heat up some random food and maybe scroll your phone mindlessly for a few hours before bed. In this video, I would love to address some of the common reasons why you might be experiencing constant lack of energy and what you can do to overcome that. In addition, we will touch base on how willpower muscle works and what tools you can use to generate that extra energy to help yourself to stay on track with your healthy lifestyle and your fitness goals. I personally believe discipline is freedom. Think about it. When you stay disciplined with your sleeping routine and when you're on top of your nutrition, providing your body enough of food at the right time for it to function its best, you feel energized through the day and you are able to focus more and be more productive. Your discipline creates resources you cannot buy. The resourceful state you are in, thanks to your discipline and your consistency, creates new opportunities. And what is even more important, it gives you results you cannot get any other way. Discipline is a true form of self-love. It's about loving yourself enough to give yourself everything you have ever wanted. Going back to the main question, where can we find energy, or what can we do to create and sustain more energy so we have resources to stay disciplined? Last night, the microphone stopped working halfway through the podcast, and that's why I am re-recording this part. So first and foremost, we must ensure our recovery is on point. Imagine your body is like a car. Do you think you would get far driving your car on empty? And that's why ensuring that you have your sleep routine and you are nourishing your body properly is a must. Let's start with nutrition. A lot of women that come to me either have a fear of food or they're just so busy they don't have time to prepare balanced meals for themselves. And as a result, they simply don't eat enough. They may not even know that they don't eat enough because they just don't feel hungry, but because they do not provide enough energy through food for their body, they constantly feel tired and exhausted, and they don't even realize that by eating more they can fix that. So how to understand whether you eat enough? The easiest way is to track your calories and macronutrients in apps like Fat Secret or FitnessPal for about 3 to 4 days to see how many calories, protein, carbs, and fats you consume on average. I will make a separate video on that. It will go deeper into how to use your calorie trackers and how to make the calorie tracking process as easy for yourself as possible. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to not miss out on that valuable information. One really important thing for you to remember is that calorie tracking is only a tool to learn about how much energy, protein, fats, and carbs you can get from different types of foods. It is a temporary tool that means that no, you will not have to track every bite you eat for the rest of your life. It's only there for this short period of time while you're learning. There are also other tools you can implement to see if that increases your energy. And I call this one a balanced plate. You've probably seen this before online. That is when at least 80% of your meals, you follow this set of rules. 50% of your plate, you serve cooked or fresh vegetables. 20% of your plate, you serve proteins, things like tofu, chicken, beef, seafood, and the other 20% of your plate contain carbs like rice, potatoes, etc. And the last 5% you can serve healthier fats like nuts or avocado. And remember, one serve of fats should be about 1 thumb. I highly recommend prepping your proteins in advance and freezing them, and also making your breakfast and lunches a day or two before will make it easier for you to not skip a meal and to not grab a chocolate bar with fourth coffee for the day instead of a nourishing meal. Another thing that gave me a lot more energy is supplementing my food with things like omega-3, vitamin B. I noticed a big difference when I started taking omega-3s. To be honest, we all should be taking this supplement, but because it's hard to get that amount of omega-3 from fish, and to be honest, it will not be really good for your body to eat that much fish or even flax seeds. Female bodies need at least 1,100 milligrams a day of omega-3. So definitely get some high quality omega-3 supplements. I also started taking activated B complex, vitamin B complex, and I started supplementing vitamin B because I am currently trying to get pregnant, but then I also learned that we are actually all not getting enough of vitamin B, so it's worth to do a blood test and to check your vitamin levels, because it can really help you to feel more energized, and it can really change the way you feel throughout the day. Now, third thing, it's really important to note that fatigue could also be caused by food intolerances. So if you have tried every hack from this video to increase your energy levels and you still feel tired through the day, maybe look into taking a test for food intolerances. Now that we've covered food, let's talk about sleep and circadian rhythm. I am about to share one hack that brought my energy to the next level. This is not my hack. I learned it from Dr. Huberman in his episode Tools for Optimizing Your Sleep. He talks about what we can do not only to improve your sleep, but also how to become more awake and energized throughout the day. So the hack that boosted my energy times 10 was to expose my eyes to sunlight within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking, no matter whether it's cloudy outside or not. Now, I will explain how it works. By getting out in the sun, you trigger cortisol levels to increase. Cortisol hormone is usually related to stress, but it is actually not bad for you if it is heightened very early in the day. You have a set of nerve cells in your eyes, and they respond best to bright light, especially right after waking early in the day. They send signals to your body that then triggers cortisol to increase. And you might think, why not just look at my phone screen or view maybe sunlight from behind a car window while I drive to work, or even behind a window while I'm laying in bed? To be honest, I thought the same until I learned that even if I crank up my screen brightness up to maximum, it will not be bright enough to trigger that cortisol spike for me to feel my most awake and focused through the day. The same with the car window or any other window. The glass just does not let through enough sunlight for us to trigger that cortisol spike. It will take way too long. You will need to spend hours next to a window driving your car to get enough light in your eyes, enough brightness in your eyes, but then it will be too late anyways, because we want that cortisol to rise early. The earlier it rises, the earlier our body will be ready to go to bed at night, which will make falling asleep easier later on. If the sky is clear and the sun is low, you know that you got out of the bed, you know that you got outside at the right time. If the sky is clear, you only need about 10 minutes. On a cloudy day, there is still a lot more sun outside compared to inside the house, but you need more time. You need about 20 to 30 minutes to get that cortisol spike on cloudy days. On my lazy days, I like to sit outside having my breakfast. And when I need to stay in the sun for longer, I go for a light walk. You don't need to stay directly in the sun, especially when it's very bright. But Dr. Huberman says to not wear sunglasses, at least just for this period of sun viewing. And it's even best to wear your prescribed glasses and lenses. For you to compare the difference in how much light you get outside compared from a screen, if you were to get a light meter up, they're usually quite accurate on your phone, and measure how much lux in your environment you have. Lux is a measure of brightness. So in the morning, in the house with the lights on, you will find that you have about 1000 lux. If you go outside, you will see that it will be anywhere from 5,000 and up to sometimes even 90,000 lux outside. For you to know, phones produce about up to 2.1 lux, and in the car you will only have about 300 to 500 lux as well. It is not enough to spike your cortisol, and it is not enough to wake your body up. So get outside in the sun within an hour of your waking. I guarantee it will change the way you feel through the day. And it's one of the best ways to improve your sleep because, like I said, the earlier you spike your cortisol, the earlier your body will want to go to bed. And it will make it easier to fall asleep and to get a better quality of sleep. Now that you nourish your body well, with all the right foods in the right amounts, you've checked with your doctor all your vitamin levels and other health factors, and you are enjoying your breakfast, exposing your eyes to the morning sun, let's touch base on a few other challenges that can get in our way towards achieving discipline. I received a couple questions on Instagram. One of them was, what do I do if people around me disrupt my plans? Husband buys junk food, baby is too clean. And another one was, I don't have adequate support with kids, gym crochets aren't super accessible or too far. What do I do? To moms that watch me, first, I want to say I truly empathize with you. There are really not enough support out there like crochets and gyms that you would feel comfortable leaving your child at, or having your baby cry for you not ever wanting to let you go to do anything. It would be so hard to look after yourself in these circumstances. Well, I'll start with the easy part. Husband brings junk food home. The only way to go about it is to communicate to your partner. But how do you do that in a way that helps you to be heard by your partner? I've got 4 steps for you that will help you to address any issue you might have with your partner, and that will help you both to come up with a solution. First, you state a fact. Blandly, no evaluation, no emotion whatsoever. So what's been happening? We have junk food in our house. Next, we state our feelings. You could say, at this point, I find it impossible to resist it, and every time I see it, I reach out to it, and I know it hinders my progress and all the hard work, and it makes it hard to sustain a deficit of calories. And when I have that piece of junk food, I realize that it ruins my whole calorie of deficit, and it is my weak point. Second, you state how it makes you feel. when I see that delicious chocolate that's been brought into the house, I cannot resist it. Every time I reach out to it and I smash it, and I feel so weak afterwards. I feel like I cannot control myself. I realize that it probably is my weak point, but I really want to lose weight and I want to feel my absolute best. So it makes me feel sad that I cannot achieve that. Makes me feel sad and makes me feel weak. I continue feeling uncomfortable in my body and I just don't feel good about eating that chocolate that keeps coming back to our house. Step number 3, you state your need and you say, I really want to feel confident and comfortable in my body. The state where I am now really affects my self-esteem and my quality of life, and I don't feel as happy and satisfied within myself as I'd love to be. Unfortunately, it negatively impacts every other part of my life, so I need to feel my absolute best in my body, and I'm trying to do everything I can to get to that point. And the step number 4, you can offer a solution or maybe offer to come up with a solution together. You can say, what if maybe we don't bring junk food home? Or maybe we get a safe with a code where you keep your snacks, or I don't have access to it. What if we just store the snacks somewhere high up where it's hard for me to reach? These steps you can use in any situation where you want to communicate your needs. Just remember, you state fact, then feeling, need, and solution. If you come up with a solution but your partner doesn't follow through with what he or she promised, that's when you can set boundaries and natural consequence. You can say something like, we agreed on not bringing junk food in the house. That's why next time I see it again, I will have to throw it away. It is important to follow through with your consequence. It's important in a relationship to prioritize yourself, especially if you want this relationship to thrive for long. If you sacrifice your happiness and your well-being for the sake of keeping your partner happy, the dynamic in the relationship will turn into the mother and a child type of dynamic, because only a parent and a mother would look over her own needs for her child to stay satisfied. I believe that the life in a relationship should feel much better than your single life. Regarding the lack of adequate support, all I can say is to focus on what you can control right now at this point. Yes, there's not enough crochets in the gyms, but you still have control over the food you consume and over your everyday movement. You can go for walks with your baby. There are plenty of YouTube workouts and online dance classes you can do for free. Start looking for solutions and do the best you can at this point of time. Even small actions like serving more greens and protein for yourself and moving a bit more around the house will lead you in the right direction. This is only temporary and things will get easier really soon. But one thing I want you to remember is that as a parent, spending time on your fitness and your health is not selfish. It is selfless. You can't help others when you are sick and unhealthy. You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. I hope I answered the questions from the beautiful mamas on my Instagram. Hopefully very soon when I become a mama, I have a lot more helpful information and hacks to share with you. Right now, I can only speak from my experience and my knowledge. Next, let's move on to the willpower muscle. So, how does willpower work? Part of your brain that's responsible for the willpower is called the prefrontal cortex. It's located right here, and Did you know that it actually works like a muscle? It even gets increased in size like a muscle the more you practice doing things you don't particularly want to do, like getting up early or exercising or even meditating. Good news is that you can exercise your willpower and it will get easier to do the hard things over time. But the bad news, it does take a lot of energy. The frontal cortex takes a lot of energy to function. It gets more tired the more you use it. That's why after a long, busy day, you can literally feel too tired to resist your temptations. And every act of willpower depletes willpower. Using self control can actually lead to losing control. And if willpower is limited, are we never going to achieve our biggest goals? Great news, there are a few things you can do. One of the tools that I'm gonna share with you, it's called shake and tap method. When you are experiencing lack of energy, it's the quickest energy generator. I'd love to give this tool at the beginning because I want to give you something quick and practical that will give you immediate results. It's very simple, it's time effective, and it's a somatic practice I've been using every time I feel like I need that extra boost of energy. Whenever I need to complete a training session I don't feel like doing, or another task that requires a bit of willpower, I usually set a timer for 60 seconds. So shake and tap, I stand up for 30 seconds. I shake my whole body. I shake my legs, I shake my head, core, everything. And for the rest 30 seconds, I tap my legs, tap my core, my arms, even my head, my neck, my face, everything. After 60 seconds, you're gonna feel an immediate charge of energy going through your body. The fact that it's a somatic practice was confirmed to me by my friend Sophie. She is a somatic practitioner and she explained to me that somatic practitioners work with 5 senses and they help you to work through your personal challenges through your body. So if you're curious and you wanted to look at deeper reasons of your lack of energy that may even come from the past, from things like past traumas, I will leave a link to Sophie's Instagram below. Check it out. Second thing that you can do after shaking tap method, you can schedule hardest thing early in the mornings. We have spoken about the willpower muscle and the prefrontal cortex that requires a lot of energy and works like a muscle. It gets tired during the day because we use it mostly at work or at home doing things that we have to do. It can be very helpful scheduling hard things like a workout earlier in the day. Start using a calendar, planning your day instead of hoping it will work itself out somehow. Trust me, it won't. When it's scheduled in your calendar, treat it as your doctor's or a beauty appointment you paid a whole heap of money for. Quite often we sleepwalk through our choices. Half the time, we're not even aware we are making them. The author of Willpower Instinct book says that nobody intends to become a beast. Quite often, we allow ourselves to make choices without thinking. So here's another really good instrument. You can get a pen and a paper right now if you've got a moment and journal on these 3 questions. First one is write a few excuses you might be clinging on to. For example, too much work, or my genetics are bad, my environment doesn't support me, I just have a sweet tooth, or that's just my culture. And see what comes up. You can even write it in the comments what excuses that you like to use. Second, write 10 small, tiny steps you can take every day that can take your life in the positive direction. What 10 small actions you can also stop doing that might be compounding your results downward. And take responsibility for your choices. This is why SWORD has one of the core values, ownership, because I encourage you to take responsibility for your life, take full responsibility for where you're at right now at this point, and from now on, Take responsibility for the choices that you make every single day. In the end, discipline is your path to a resourceful and more empowered life. Embrace the process, stay consistent with the hacks that I provided to you, and watch your life transform. Your journey to a more confident, physically and mentally strong and feminine self starts with the energy you find within to stay disciplined. As we wrap up, I encourage you to start implementing these hacks straight away and come back to this episode over and over to see some of the information lands better, because at different stages of your getting disciplined journey, you might find different hacks working better for you than the other. I hope you find these tips helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more insightful content on fitness, nutrition, and mastering a disciplined life. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video and share it with anyone who might benefit from it. Your support means the world to me, and by subscribing you will stay updated on all the valuable information coming your way. Let's build a community of strong, empowered women committed to their well-being.